After that, we have two really good grapplers in Gyoti Yamauchi and Dan Morat. Grappler and grappler. Dan Morat has, I believe, 8 or 9 submissions on his record, I'm pretty sure. So 8 submission wins, 2 knockout wins, and 4 decision wins. Y'all are going to be really, really surprised right here. 25 wins and 4 losses, 28 years old. And guess how many of his wins are coming by submission? 20 submission wins, 4 decision wins, and 1 KO TKO win. Absolutely insane. That is just absolutely insane. First on submission win over Derek Cruikshank. First on armbar submission win. Decision win. Fought Michael Chandler, who is currently about to fight for the UFC lightweight belt. First on rear naked submission win over Adam Piccolotti. First on submission. Third on submission. First on submission. First on knockout. First on submission. I mean, come on, man. This man is an amazing, amazing grappler. Pretty much every single one of his fights being a submission in the first or second round. Dan Morat, 14 wins and 6 losses, coming off of 3 straight losses inside the UFC against Gilbert Burns, Alex White, and Jared Gordon. And they got a second round knockout win in the fight. I think Dan Morat might have a little bit of a striking advantage, but Gyoti Yamauchi, the man's grappling is absolutely insane. I will not be surprised if like 100% of these tabloid predictions are going for Gyoti Yamauchi to win the fight. 95% going for Gyoti Yamauchi to win the fight. 72% saying he's going to win the fight by submission in the first or second round. That's exactly what I'm thinking. 100%. I have Gyoti Yamauchi going out there, going for takedown after takedown after takedown. And I think he's gonna get the back of Dan Morat and get a rear naked submission in the first or second round. 100%. I mean, 20 submissions as a professional fighter. That is absolutely insane. So 100%. I have Gyoti Yamauchi winning the fight by submission in the first or second round. After that, we have Kat Zingano and Olivia Parker. Believe it or not, I mean, it's very surprising. Kat Zingano being 38 and a half years old. Olivia Parker is actually older than Kat Zingano is at 39 years old. Older than Kat Zingano with 4 wins and 1 loss. A humongous underdog in the fight. A very tall fighter in this featherweight division at 5'10" tall. Not really sure what her reach is. But Kat Zingano, 5'6" tall and has a reach of 70 inches. So no real age advantage considering they're both 38 and 39 years old. If you look at Kat Zingano, the 6th best featherweight fighter in the world. Decision win against Gabriel Holloway. Fought inside the UFC in 2018. Lost to Megan Anderson. Fought Marion Reneau. And guys, we have to look at this, guys. It's insane. I mean, against Marion Reneau. You guys already know Marion Reneau inside the UFC. She goes out there and goes for takedown after takedown after takedown. Well, Kat Zingano went out there and got 6 takedowns on Marion Reneau and won the fight by 30-26, 30-27, and 30-27 unanimous decision. I mean, Kat Zingano has amazing wrestling skills, really good ground and pound, and really good submission skills on the ground. I mean, her wrestling skills are really good. 5 KO TKO wins, 3 submission wins, and 3 decision wins. Believe it or not, she actually ended up beating Amanda Nunes, Misha Tate, Raquel Pennington, all these amazing fighters inside the UFC. I mean, she's absolutely insane. But if you're getting 6 takedowns against a girl like Marion Reneau, who her only game plan is to go for takedowns herself, I mean, her wrestling, her ground and pound, her submission skills are going to be way too much for Olivia Parker. We don't even really need to look at Olivia Parker being 4-1 as a professional fighter, has a lot of submissions on auto record. Every single one of her wins being a finish, except for this one fight back in 2019. I don't really even need to look at these fights from Olivia Parker, considering Kat Zingano has amazing wrestling, and once she gets you down, she's gonna dominate you there, and she's gonna win the fight 100% in this fight by 30-27 or possibly by 30-26 unanimous decision. Come on, guys, come on. If you guys think that Olivia Parker's gonna win that one, you guys are absolutely insane. Kat Zingano is gonna win the fight by 30-26 unanimous decision. This fight right here is a really good fight. Jeremy Kennedy and Adam Borek, 16 wins and 2 losses, and 16 wins and 1 loss, -120, and then -110, 27.5, and then 28.5 years old. So literally everything right here, the records, the betting odds, the age of both fighters are very even. The height is 5'11" inches tall for both fighters. The reach 71 inches and 70.5 inches. You don't really see anything that is right here that you can kind of give the advantage to either fighter in the fight. Jeremy Kennedy, amazing wrestling. Even look at his couple of fights that were inside the UFC. He is really good wrestling. If we can find it right here. Let's see right here. Let's see. So he had 11 wins and 1 loss at the time when he was inside the UFC. 5 takedowns in his first fight inside the UFC. 8 takedowns against Ronnie Jason, 8 takedowns against Kyle Bogniak. He literally, like, look right here. Inside of the UFC, his average takedowns per fight was 5.73 takedowns, landing at 52%, having a 66% takedown defense. I mean, the man is absolutely insane. He has really, really good wrestling. If he gets you down, he's probably going to keep you there, and he has such good wrestling. 8 takedowns, and 5 takedowns inside the UFC. That is absolutely insane. And you guys already know, Adam Borics, amazing striking. He has 2 flying knee KO wins over Aaron Pico and Teodoro Nicolo. Absolutely insane. Most of his wins being finishes in the first or second round. 6 submission wins and 4 KO TKO wins and 5 decision wins. If you look at how he wins those submissions, second round submission win by triangle choke submission, triangle choke submission, triangle choke submission, rear naked and rear naked. So the main way he wins his fights by submission is when he's on the bottom and he kind of puts up a triangle choke submission, and that is the main way he wins his fights against really good wrestlers, and against a guy like Jeremy Kennedy, who is a very, very good wrestler, as we saw previously with those stats inside the UFC. The main way he can kind of defend those takedowns is to kind of use those submissions from the bottom in these triangle choke submission, in the guillotines. That is the main way he can kind of defend those takedowns from Jeremy Kennedy, because he has really, really good wrestling. And if he keeps the fight on the feet, if Adam Borics keeps the fight on the feet, he's most likely gonna win the fight by 29-28 unanimous decision, or get a KO TKO in the first or second round. But that is an if. If he keeps the fight on the feet, it is going to be a really, really tough thing for Adam Borics to do, to keep the fight on the feet when you got a guy like Jeremy Kennedy, who goes for like 10 takedowns every single time he goes out there. I mean, his wrestling is absolutely insane. So I think Jeremy Kennedy is just going to pressure to Adam Borics, get him in the clinch, go for takedown after takedown after takedown after takedown after takedown after takedown, over and over and over again, eventually getting on top of Adam Borics and defending those submissions from the bottom from Adam Borics, landing some ground and pound, going for a couple submissions from the top, and winning the fight by unanimous decision. I think it's going to be a very, very good fight in the co-main event for Bellator 256, Bellator versus Machida 2. But Jeremy Kennedy's wrestling is just way too much for Adam Borics to handle. When I first saw the fight, immediately, you kind of look at a guy like Adam Borics, who's an amazing striker. You immediately look at Adam Borics, and you're kind of like, alright, he has really good striking. He has some pretty good submission skills from the bottom. You're probably going to go with Adam Borics, but looking at Jeremy Kennedy's wrestling skills, I mean, you can't deny those wrestling skills. So if he gets him down, which he most likely will, he's going to dominate the fight on the ground, maybe get a TKO, but overall, I think the fight is going to go all the way, and Jeremy Kennedy is going to win the fight by 29-28, a unanimous decision. And then after that, Liz Carmouche and Vanessa Pardo. Again, believe it or not, just like this one fight with Katlyn and Olivia Parker, Vanessa Pardo is pretty much the same exact age as Liz Carmouche is, with 22 wins and 8 losses. Absolutely insane. 37 and 37 years old, which is absolutely insane. Liz Carmouche has a height advantage, has a reach advantage. She is the favorite in the fight, 14 wins and 7 losses. The 8th best flyweight fighter in the world. Got a 3rd round submission win over Deanna Bennett. Before that, fought for the UFC flyweight belt against Valentina Shevchenko, the best flyweight fighter of all time. Before that, I'll be Lucy Pudilova, Jennifer Maia, Katlyn Chookagian, Lord Murphy, Jessica Andrade. I mean, she was doing really, really good. Fought Ronda Rousey. I mean, it was absolutely insane. But she has really, really good wrestling, in my opinion. Has a really, really good ground and pound. Has really, really good striking. I mean, the only way I really see Vanessa Pardo winning the fight would be by submission in the first or second round. Liz Carmouche has the wrestling, has the striking, has the height, has the reach. Doesn't really have the age advantage because both fighters are 37 years old, but she has a height, she has the reach advantage, she has the striking advantage, she has the wrestling advantage. Every single thing is pointing to Liz Carmouche to win the fight by unanimous decision. But Vanessa Pardo, never count her out, because 22 wins and 8 losses, has really, really good submission skills on her record. 11 submissions, 4 KO TKO wins, and 7 decision wins. So it's either Vanessa Pardo goes out there and gets the submission in the first or second round, or Liz Carmouche goes for takedown after takedown after takedown, gets on top of Vanessa Pardo, lands a lot of ground pound, gets a lot of control time, and win the fight by unanimous decision. One of those two things is gonna happen in the fight, but overall, I'm obviously gonna go with Liz Carmouche to win the fight by unanimous decision. Possibly 30-26, but most likely I'm a 30-27 unanimous decision. I mean, her wrestling, her ground pound, her striking, her reach advantage, her height advantage, every single thing is pointing for Liz Carmouche to win the fight by unanimous decision. But we'll see what happens in that fight. It should be a very, very good co-main event in the women's women's flyweight division. And guys, we finally made it to the main event of Bellator 256. Y'all already know what fight it is. We have Ryan Bader and Machida 2. This is the rematch. If you guys were wondering when the last time these two guys fought, it was back in 2012, I believe. And Ryan Bader lost the fight by second round knockout. But remember, this was 2012. Ryan Bader at this time was mainly a wrestler, tries to take you down and landed a lot of good little tabbity shots on the ground. Try to get the ground and pound TKO win. Try to win the fight by unanimous decision. He's trying to mainly implement that wrestling game plan in his early career inside the UFC back in 2008 to all the way up to, I believe, 2015. All these fights right here were mainly wrestling performances. I mean, decision win over Rashad Evans, decision win over Phil Davis, decision win over OV St. Preux, decision win. All these wins are coming by decision. Not many KO TKO wins from Ryan Bader early in his career, but after that loss to Anthony Johnson back in 2016, my first round TKO, he kind of shifted his game plan a little bit to be more of a striker, to try to get more knockouts in his career. And after that loss to Anthony Johnson, he really showed his striking. Second round knockout win, third round knockout win, decision win over Phil Davis, second round knockout win, first round knockout win, decision win over Matt Mishra, and a first round knockout win. Out of all 7 of these fights right here, 5 of them being KO TKO wins in the first, second, or third round. So after that loss to Anthony Johnson, he really kind of shifted his game plan from more of a wrestling game plan to try to take you down over and over and over again, get a lot of ground pound, to more of a striking based game plan, to where if he's not doing too good in the striking game, he could go for those takedowns. He does have very, very good striking, and you've seen those fights. He's Muhammad Lawal and Fedor Emelianenko, 15 seconds and 35 seconds into the first round, literally just doing this and knocking them out in the first round. I mean, that has been a main part of his game plan, just using that check left hook in both of those fights against Fedor and Muhammad Lawal. He does have that wrestling to fall back on in the fight. Even in this fight against Machida, even if the striking is not really doing too good for Ryan Bader, which I still think Ryan Bader is going to have the striking advantage in the fight. Even if it is not doing good in the striking game in the fight, he could fall back to the wrestling, take Machida down, go for some ground and pound shots, and win the fight that way. But overall, I think the fight is going to stay on the feet. Every now and then, we will see a couple takedowns from Ryan Bader in the fight. He does have the age advantage. He does have the height advantage. The reach is pretty simple. 74 inches and 73 inches right there. So I think overall, the main way Machida is going to win the fight is to win the fight by KO TKO due to a counter right hook. That is the main way. If Ryan Bader gets a little bit overzealous in the striking game and overcommits with a left hand or overcommits with a right hand, Machida just needs to counter one of those shots with a head kick, with a big right hand of his own, and win the fight that way. But that is the main way I see Machida winning the fight, is by a counter knockout or trying to play the counter puncher role in this fight against Ryan Bader and win the fight by unanimous decision. But overall, I think Ryan Bader is the younger fighter, obviously has a height advantage, has a power advantage, is a very, very good striker. And if you have a guy that is a very, very, very good striker, and if the striking is really, really even, the one thing that can kind of switch the tide into one guy's favor is the wrestling. And if the striking is very, very even, which it probably will be, Ryan Bader will go for that takedown, take Machida down, make it a grinding wrestling performance, get a lot of ground pound, get a lot of control time, and win the fight that way. So I think the striking is going to be very, very even. But the thing that is going to play the biggest factor is Ryan Bader's ground pound, Ryan Bader's wrestling, all that type of thing. So I think Ryan Bader is going to get a takedown in the third round, get on top of Machida, and get a TKO victory in the third round on Machida. Should be a really, really good main event right here in the tournament quarterfinals in the light heavy division. The winner of this fight fights the winner of Corey Anderson, and I'm not really sure how to say that other guy's name. He's like a Russian or so. I don't even know how to say that other guy's name, but the winner of this fight is most likely going to be fighting Corey Anderson in the semifinals of this tournament, and the winner of that most likely will fight Vadim Nemkov. And I think Ryan Bader is going to win this fight against Machida. I think Ryan Bader is also going to win the fight against Corey Anderson, against that Dovletsan Magomedov, however you say that other guy's name. I think Ryan Bader will be in the finals and fight in a rematch against Vadim Nemkov. It's going to be a really, really good fight there. But in this fight, for Bellator 256, I think Ryan Bader is going to go out there, do really, really good in the striking game, make it a really even fight in the striking game, take him down in the third round, and get a TKO victory over Machida in the fight.